Ah, yes. Let's let the footballing misery continue, shall we? Oh, hello. Welcome in to the PHNX Rising podcast. Appreciate everyone joining us here on a Wednesday evening. Got a lot of people up here in the chat. Leave a like on your way in here. Say hello, leave a comment, all that jazz. I am Max, the ad man, Simpson.
Yes.
Over to my, let's go left. We got Owain, the Oracle Evans. What's going on, man?
Oh man, I had to watch that game yesterday.
Yeah,
I
I'm
watched
sorry
it
for
back
you.
in full.
That's-
I did put it on 1.5 speed.
Oh, okay.
It still looks quite slow.
How fast did it go?
No, they still look slow.
Okay. And to my right, we have Rees, the stat lackey.
The Glizzy Guzzler.
The Glizzy Guzzler.
Hot dog helper.
The hot dog heaver.
Eva, you're not wrong.
The Frankfurter fanatic.
Get on with it. We got to talk about how Spurs bottled the trophy.
Fumbler.
We Frankfurt Fumbler. The Saucer Spewer.
That's true.
How about that penalty shootout today, Max?
The
Matisse Tal.
There's something.
What a miss.
There's something else there. Anyway, how are you?
As I've been saying, I've been doing pretty good because Spurs lost the Super Cup after being 2-0 up in the 80th minute.
How do you feel about Phoenix Rising Football Club?
Unfortunately, I had to watch that match live.
Yep. And of course, we have Mr. Damon Dog himself behind the brown redacted computer, pushing the buttons, all of that stuff. You know, Damon, I want to say real quick, Damon and I, we usually don't see eye to eye. However, one thing we can agree on is,
Wrexham?
Well, first off, Wrexham. Second of all, PSG, kind of fraudulent. And third of all, classic. We're not going to name names or point fingers, Rees right there, but kind of likes to take shots at our clubs and yet haven't really won anything, have they?
One of the fraudulent sides, or one of the games that PSG looked fraudulent in, they ended up with a trophy, Max, and that happened to be against your team there, buddy.
That's fine. We're champions of Europe.
I'll tell you what I hate about that.
The second
Max
tier.
grouping Chelsea and Tottenham
Whoa!
together.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
We've won it all.
Yeah.
Literally every trophy you can win,
I mean,
Chelsea have won.
okay, well, that's
Yeah,
Tottenham-
Emirates
that's not
Cup.
entirely true.
Tottenham have won one trophy
I thought this was going to go a different direction.
in about 3 decades,
Okay.
Max.
Okay, well, relevance is why I'm trying to bring you back on my side. We have that, unlike certain other people. Anyway, appreciate everyone in the chat.
But Max right
You
now
haven't
just
won an
sounds
MLS All-Star game either, Damon.
Yeah, you haven't
You've
won
lost
the
two,
Max
actually.
Max
That's
right
quite
now
poor.
sounds like the like slightly pathetic kid that just tries to ally himself with the playground bully because he thinks then he'll get away.
100%.
From,
Who could
but
forget,
that's
by
just
the
not
way,
really true, is it?
the Kai
Yes,
Havertz
Cardiff.
show
Yeah,
at the
we're
MLS
awful,
All-Star
no.
Yeah,
game?
you guys are awful.
At the MLS All-Star game skills showcase.
Yeah,
actually.
he went off. That was beautiful to
It-
watch. But I will say, Max, you say like you made PSG look fraudulent. Why did they lift the trophy at the end of the game?
It's a it's a crapshoot. Anyway, can we
Is
win a
there, well, hang on a minute. Is Reese, you seeing a trend here? Can you
Bottles, yeah.
bottled
Yeah.
it?
That's
Bottled it. I hear.
it's more of a
Bottled
jug.
it.
That makes
That's
sense.
why
now.
Max's
Bottled it.
bottle is so big.
It's more of a jug. It's
All
more
they
of a-
ever do is
it-
bottle it.
It
It's
does
more
look
jug.
bigger today
It's
after
okay,
this
guys.
recent
Normal
bottle shop.
service is resumed. The Spursiness is back.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What a Spursy outcome, right?
Yeah, I'm not worried. Anyway, appreciate everyone in the chat. We got Thomas in the chat, Going Man Pat, Fat Kid, all saying a bunch of stuff. There's like a lot of, let's see, Going Man Pat, I think Rees should lose the Glizzy
Well, he
Guzzler
spelled my name
nickname.
wrong,
And yes,
so
he did.
who's he
Until he
talking
eat
about?
more than a toddler can in one sitting. Love that. Thomas in the chat saying we all cheer for Tottenham. Love
No,
that.
that very clearly says
Um,
we all laugh.
Let's see. Going Man Pat playing at 1.5 speed. Remy's shot might have been going fast enough to count.
They
as a
did
shot.
actually count it as a shot in the
Did.
end.
How?
Opta's been back and forth on this one, but at the current time as we film this, it is considered a shot on target. So Rising have had 1 shot on target against Lexington in both games. Combined.
It's not
180
ideal.
plus
Let's give
minutes
that a
of
big
football.
round of applause.
Not ideal.
One of the worst defensive teams in the league. You get 1 shot on target.
And that leads us to the game of the weekend, Phoenix Rising.
It was a game.
Well, I think we
There was a match.
I think we technically have to call it a match, even if it was a little bit.
It was nap time.
Yeah.
Nap time?
Yeah. Phoenix Rising losing 2-0 to Lexington. Yeah, it was a match. This club doesn't. I feel we've been going on about this, for a lot this season, and I think this club, right? We've seen that there's been a lot of defensive frailties. We have seen that there's been a lot of guys in and out of the lineup. We have seen them being overrun within midfield. There have been times where this club could at least string together. They're good for attacking output. They're good for goals. They're good for at least saying, hey, it's going to be a shootout, but we at least back ourselves to be in it. This was not the case within this match. Guys, is this just Lexington just has our number, one of the worst teams in the West? Like, what's going on here?
I don't even know. Yeah. Yikes. I mean,
it's really good ASMR right there.
I don't like it. It's unnerving. But
It's just one of those ones where you kind of have to just I don't even know what to say. Do you know what to say, Rees?
I'm just glad the match ended. It was. I was really trying to delay talking about it for as long as possible, but we just can't.
You know what? We can. You know that Tottenham Hotspur?
Yeah.
I hear they're bottle
Ball
jobs.
jobs.
That's what I hear.
Oh, that's relevant.
We do need to talk about this
Yeah,
game.
we do.
It was atrocious.
Not great.
It was genuinely one of the most lifeless, lethargic performances I think I've seen. Even in some of these other games, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear any excuses for this one. Even in some of these other games where you see that fight back late from Rising, we just didn't see that in this game. We didn't see any real fight back, did we? I mean, what on earth was going on there? And it can be harsh, and I don't like to say things like the players didn't want to play and those kind of things. I don't like putting that out there because I think it's I do think it is somewhat lazy analysis. I don't think it really gets into things, but you could forgive people for looking at it and thinking that was the case. Because Rising just weren't in that game.
No.
Mhm.
And I don't think Lexington looked very good, but Rising just were not at any real point in that game. And I'm sorry when you sometimes point them to, and we'll get to some of this shortly, from comments from Pa-Modou Kah today, on these games, on this game in particular, but also some of the trends we're seeing and some of the other things that we've heard. You can't point to certain individual shots that you had which weren't necessarily very good, like Isan Sako's volley, one on target. There was one shot on target in the end. It was a dribbler at the keeper from Rémi Cabral. I don't blame Rémi for that. Guy's coming back from injury.
Yeah.
My expectations for Rémi Cabral aren't high right now because I expect him to have a little bit of time to ramp up. He said he's feeling quite physically good right now. He's obviously happy to be back out on the field. It's just not good enough overall. I will say, though, in terms of the attack and the struggles with attack, we can have a listen to something that Pa-Modou Kah said about facing Lexington, especially given, of course, in the first game against Lexington, there were no shots on target in that one. I did ask him what it was about Lexington in particular here that made them so hard to get a shot on target against. Let's have a listen to what he said.
I don't think it's hard. I think it's more, again, we allow one silly goal due to our mistakes, not wanting to follow the man. It's just simple as that. The desire to want to defend for your teammates. And the second goal is offside. It's pure offside. The guy is 100% offside. And he's the one touching the ball and not Esenge. So that's more on the official. But if you look at the chance, if Rizzo take that chance, for me that's I know people in games say it's not an XG, it's a clear XG. If you keep it low, it goes in, you go maybe 1-1. Sacco volley, that may call you goal, right? But it's our own wrongdoings. It's not that they did something special out of the ordinary, right? We didn't show up, and that's not who we are.
Yeah, I mean, that was the trend, I think, today was a lot of talk about how it wasn't a Phoenix Rising worthy performance in Lexington. Those were the exact words that Pa used off the bat, pretty much, to describe it. The team didn't really show up. And see, I mean, I see Goodall and Pat, they're bringing up the complaint about offside again. Yeah, I get that. I will say, here's the thing. You're in USL, you got to be real about the level of officiating. You were in the second division in the US. Okay, these guys all have jobs. Especially assistant referees aren't getting, these are people who have real world jobs outside of this. You as a league and the clubs that make up the league aren't realistically, willing to put the money in to make these guys full time. So you're gonna get what you get in a country this big dealing with that. The other thing about it is that, to me, if you can't really threaten the goalkeeper, you kind of forfeit the right to complain about officials, right? What did Phoenix Rising do to give them an excuse to get in this game? What did Phoenix Rising do? The first goal was atrocious. He doesn't make any excuses for that. It was a terrible bit of defending that allowed the goal ultimately, right? I don't blame Tristan Henry for that one at all. I think it's defending. You can't let a guy be that loose on the far post, heads against the woodwork, and then all of a sudden you've got a player 2 yards out to tap it in. Okay? Is what it is. You've got to be better defending before that point. When did Phoenix Rising really threaten the goal? I'm sorry. I hear what he's saying. I don't fundamentally agree. I think that Rising really were that much of a threat. If you're clutching at straws, pilling like Isan Saka, when he hits a volley from distance, okay, it goes wide of the goal. If you're relying on those to be put away, then you're not creating enough. You're not creative. You're just stagnant in the attack. If you need, and we said earlier in the year, right, it was goal of the week FC, right?
Well,
they'd struggle, but they get those goals of the week, and boys, pat each other on the back because goal of the week FC. No, that's not fundamentally sustainable. They aren't going to go in time after time after time after time after time. And if those are the kind of chances you're relying on to bail you out in a game, you haven't done well enough in the game to deserve to be bailed out.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the thing with this club that I think is very frustrating, and again, it's not to draw comparisons to rising teams in the past, but we have seen that when you are going to be putting up a starting 11, putting up a squad where they're going to be consistently putting pressure on an opposing defense, and they're not putting the ball in the back of the net, right? They're wasting chances, or if they are putting a lot of shots, they're just either off target or keeper staying on their head. Those are the matches where you can come away with being, it's frustrating. They need to be more clinical, but ultimately the means will average out, and that they will be, starting to kind of, I guess, go towards what their XG is matching their goal output. When you're in this scenario where you're not even coming close, where you are not really threatening at a high clip, where you're playing a team that is bottom dwelling within the West, and you are across 2 matches combined, 1 shot on target, we understand that within this league, chances are not always going to be aplenty, but you are really stretching your margins if you're going to be saying, we feel good about that performance from an attacking output, and that, we were hard done by. You have to threaten more. You have to maximize your chances, not just getting there, putting in the back of the net, but threatening in the right positions to do so. They haven't. Let's
talk about hard done by. Rees, you were looking this up earlier. American Soccer Analysis. Where are Rising in terms of expected points?
Second to last.
There we go. Expected points. They're not expected to do well based on the underlying numbers here. And so when you look at that, does that scream hard done by? Does that scream a team that's playing really good football and just isn't getting it done? Or does that scream a team that is a liability defensively, at times looks very shaky in the midfield, gives the ball away far too often in dangerous spaces, rides their luck a little bit sometimes defensively as well? Because some of these teams, again, I'm sure we'll get onto the news about Danny Trejo later on moving to Oakland Roots. But Danny Trejo, if he was playing for Oakland Roots when Phoenix Rising played them, Phoenix Rising doesn't win that game, I don't think, because Danny Trejo puts a couple of those chances away, in a way that Oakland just didn't. I'm just at a bit of a loss here. I mean, the attack is Jekyll and Hyde. Genuinely is. 1 week they score 3.
A lot more
the
Hyde.
next week they're coming out
recently.
and barely getting a shot on target. But then again, so much of it goes back to defense, and there's issues with the defense. Clearly, it's the same mistakes over and over again that we're seeing. Now, I did ask Pa-Modou Kah about those issues with the defense today. We do have the audio from him on that one. Just the kind of the defensive issues that they've been facing, whether it's becoming a bit of a trend, which he actually denied.
No, I don't think it's a trend of it's a trend of individuals. It's not a trend of the team. It's a trend of the individuals. Oh, we're gonna fix it. That's not to worry. We're gonna fix it. Because at this end of the stage, we all go together, or we don't. And the ones don't want to join what we're trying to do, it will be telling. Because action speaks louder than words.
Yeah.
Do they look like they're fixing it right now?
No.
I mean, it's been the same problems that we've been seeing the last 3 games. It's rising or losing. It's not even
How
the last
many
3 games. It's way
so
before that.
Again,
but
Oakland,
just
I
this
brought up
last
Oakland
stretch,
game
yeah.
earlier. Oakland was the perfect one again, where they're just not following runners
Exactly.
into the penalty area.
It's time and time again. And Lexington, at times, it felt like they were almost trying to take advantage of it beyond just the goal they scored. They kept playing in crosses, trying to find someone at the back post. Thankfully, by that point, Rising had clamped down on it. But they've already dug themselves this hole, and they need to find a way to crawl out of it, which I don't know if they can based off their track record.
100%. Well, there's honestly more that we can say about this match, and we will around the other side of the break. Oh, man. Well, I think that Phoenix Rising needs to be a bit better in transition. And if you want help being better in transition, might I
really
recommend
worried where this
our
is going.
friends at 2 Men and a Truck. 2 Men and a Truck. They're helping us move. You know,
Simpson.
guys, this is a historic day. This is our last day on this PHNX Rising podcast within
I
these
thought
studios.
you were saying this is your last day.
Oh, no, it can't come soon enough. Trust me. Can't wait for this podcast. But yes.
I'll tell you what, on any of our podcasts, when a coach gets fired, this ad read is going to hit like crazy.
Yes, absolutely. And 2 Men and a Truck, they hit like crazy because, right, who wants to move when it's 100+ degrees outside? I don't want to be sweating. Rees is sweating, and he's not even outside, right?
Bright lights.
We don't want to be moving outside. We want to make it easy with our friends at 2 Men and a Truck, right? Shout out their Scottsdale team who's going to be helping us over the next couple days. Again, I don't want to be the one having to move this stuff. I mean,
We all know you
we
would.
got bad
Shoulders
shoulders.
with it.
It's hot out.
We.
2 Men and a Truck.
You
We
have-
collectively as a podcast, we don't have good shoulders. If one of us
No,
doesn't
you
have good
have bad
shoulders,
shoulders,
the other one
Max.
doesn't. 2 Men and a Truck, they have fantastic shoulders, and they have great people to help you move
Max,
for your
don't
next
objectify
for
these
your-
moving men.
for your next move. Well, to the 2 Men and the Truck. For your next move, visit 2menscottsdale.com. Again, 2 Men and a Truck. It's the movers who care. Also, speaking of caring, I care about our friends at Phoenix Raceway. It is championship weekend around the corner. Rees, go ahead and give me your vroom, please.
Vroom.
And Owen.
No.
Yeah, righty, that's okay.
Max, you gotta go.
That's
terrible.
right. Damon, a little
That's the
vroom
noise
from
Max
you.
makes when he gets a speeding ticket. But these guys get to go at that speed without getting
This
in
is true.
trouble.
Vroom vroom.
Nice. We love
that
that.
was
A
good.
little bit
That's
F1
really good.
style.
Yeah. You think
Yeah.
those were good vrooms? Here a better vroom. With our friends at Phoenix Raceway. Championship weekend, again, it's around the corner. It's going to be that Halloween weekend. It's October 31st through November 2nd, with bid race being on that Sunday, November 2nd. Tickets for that race are selling out so fast every single year. And again, this is the last time that championship weekend will be here in Arizona. They're going to start taking on the road next year. This is your last chance to catch in Phoenix for a while. Our crew has been out for the spring race. It's been a great time. Again, I mean, going 200+ miles an hour, not really something you can describe. Got to go see it in person. Tickets, hospitality, and upgrades are still available. Get yours now at the link in our show notes. Back. PHNX Rising podcast. Yeah.
Anything else to
Oh,
touch
yes. Go ahead.
on? We'll get a bit of audio in, so this is actually a good excuse to kind of loop it in. We're speaking about the defense. Let's talk about the goalkeeping. So Tristan Henry starting this game.
Ooh.
Ahead of Patrick Rakovsky.
Yes.
Now, before we give our views on that decision to go with that one, let's have a listen to what Pa-Modou Kah had to say on the choice of dropping Rakovsky.
Just wanted to get a spark because we considered that we considered 7 goals, which is not purely on Pat. We're just trying to create a spark to see where we can get us a spark. It's nothing to do with his performance. I've been very pleasant with his performance, but again, it weighs down on you also as a keep and a back line if you keep conceding. And as a coach, you make decisions to try to make a spark.
It's always an interesting one, right? I mean, I understand the conventional wisdom and the adage of doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. But I also, when you're going to be changing a focal point of your, club that I don't think is the obvious problem, right? Could there be a spark? Could Tristan Kendrick in a vacuum be better than Patrick Rakowski? It's possible, but I think when that's not the obvious issue, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to necessarily guarantee the results. And if they do, is that even necessarily down to the change? It's a tough one to battle. I mean, Rees, what say you?
I don't know. I did think it was fascinating making this move. To me, as bad as Tristan Henry has been in some of the games that he's played in this season, I didn't see any of those moments. I mean, you can nitpick all you want on either the 2 goals, and really, if you're really trying to find something, you can find something. But I don't think he was that bad. On dropping Rakowski, I kind of understand it in a sense. Rakowski hasn't been great this season. He hasn't been good. He's been below average for the USL Championship. And, if they're conceding 7 goals in 2 games in such a short span, I don't mind changing it up. Obviously, Rakowski is not the main issue with this team's back line, but I can understand why, because I mean, you look at other parts of the lineup. Pa-Modou Kah changed a lot, putting Emi Cuejo out there with 3 forwards and pushing them high up. It felt like he was just trying to see what sticked in this game, and nothing did quite stick.
Yes.
Look, the thing is that you got to be honest. Both of these goalkeepers, right? Tristan Henry, 55% save rate. Patrick Rakowski, 60% save rate.
Yeah.
These, I remember at the start of the season, kind of asking about this and being told, "Oh no, I think we've got 2 of the best goalkeepers in the league." Right? I mean, I'd heard mixed reviews on Tristan Henry coming in as to how good he was going to be. I don't think he's proved himself since arriving here in Phoenix. Patrick Rakowski has had moments where he's stepped up. But it's also moments, I think, is the key thing. If you were expecting him, outside of a few of the penalty saves, if you were to look at how many times Patrick has kind of stood on his head and rescued points for this team, it's quite a low number of games. This team has kept 2 clean sheets over 19 league games this season.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not counting the Jägermeister Cup, where I don't believe they kept a single clean sheet over the course of the tournament. No, there we go. It's just kind of the way you got to look at it. They're a team that concede a lot of goals. A lot of goals. The goalkeepers, I don't think, are necessarily the major problem, but you're also not expecting, I think, the goalkeepers to stand up and do something above and beyond any other player in there. It's not as though they went out and were hunting for the best available goalkeepers. I mean, I'm not sure what the plan was with bringing Tristan Henry in, if they wanted to go with Patrick Rakowski as the starter from the very off, or if they viewed Tristan Henry as a guy who was likely to be the starter. But the fact is that if you ask me if either of these 2 guys start on a top half championship team by and large around the league, I'm not so sure that they do. And that's telling. And again, it's telling in terms of this team, for the most part,
keepers in this league.
There are some bad goalkeepers in this league, but again, I'm not talking about the worst teams in this league for whom I think that both of these guys could potentially do a job.
Sure.
I'm saying if you aspire to be a top half team in this league, if you definitely aspire to be a top 4 team in this league in the Western Conference and hosting a playoff game, how many did these guys necessarily replace? We all laugh at Tambakis, but are we talking of a mile of difference between these guys?
I think Tambakis might actually be better this season.
And we know that Rees is not a big Tambakis guy. He's not a Vitiello guy.
No.
He's not. Who else have we got at the top of this conference at the moment?
Not in the conference, but Eric Dick. Granted, both Vitiello and Dick are in the top 4 for
Also
save
plays in
percentage.
a very defensive
know.
team.
Yeah.
Is a big part of that as well. So I mean that's something you have to consider. I mean, FC Tulsa obviously have Johan Peñaranda. I've often been a big fan of him since he's arrived in the league. He's a good player, I think, that can do a job and definitely not ahead of them. Jamali Waite at El Paso. Would you put either of them ahead of him?
I don't think so.
See,
I don't think Waite's been that great.
4. We didn't include San Antonio, though. Sorry, as well. San Antonio, whose main goalkeeper this year has been, of course, Richard Sanchez.
That might be where I don't think Richard Sanchez has been very good, and especially when he's played Rising, I don't think he's been good.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it depends on
again. The thing is, though, is that for most of the point here is you can't get away with both your defense being questionable, and your goalkeeper being probably not a home playoff goalkeeper.
Yeah,
you need one of those two things to match up. You bring up the Eric Dick one, but the whole point there is that he also plays in a system that is by its very nature defensive. I don't necessarily think... I think he's overrated as a goalkeeper in this league. I don't think that he deserved to win Goalkeeper of the Year last year. I did not vote for him to win Goalkeeper of the Year last year because I don't think he's that good. However, when you play in an ultra-defensive system that's safety first in the way that you tend to see in a Bob Lilly team, whereby they're going to score the one goal and then kind of just accept that they'll completely stifle you from there on out, you're going to be fine. You can get away with a below-average goalkeeper in that scenario. That's not what Phoenix Rising are. You need a guy who's going to, I think, stand on his head a little bit at times because this team will give away some stupid chances. Yeah. Really stupid chances, like we have seen week after week after week after week after week. You can bring up individual errors. You can say that. The problem right now is that you can say individual errors, but how many of those guys in the back line can I point to who have done that at some point this season? Who've done that at some point in the last month or two? How many of those players can I... It's loads of them. And at that point, you're not talking about individual errors as though it's one guy who's letting the side down. You're talking about systemic issues here that are either an issue of the roster building as a whole or an issue of the tactics somewhere. And it's somewhere in between. And I'm not sure quite what to pinpoint it at. At the same time, I'm not the manager of Phoenix Rising Football Club. Pa-Modou Kah he's going to have to work that out. He has to work that out. Because defensively, if you give away these kind of attempts, you are shooting yourself in the foot time after time after time after time. And it's not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, this whole goalkeeping scenario, I mean, seeing Thomas in the chat, I mean, for real, play a kid at this point if we're looking at the keeper rotation. I think that the tough part here is I think two things can be true. I think that I will say when he has been at his peaks this season, I think Patrick Kofsky at his best, he very much has been a more than reliable goalkeeper who I think could very much challenge within a home playoff match. I think the tough part is to your point, we're looking at the averages. You know, yeah, I would tend to agree. I don't know if he would be between the sticks for a top 4 club within either conference. Now, the thing is, on the other end of it, it is kind of tough because while that may be true, you honestly at this point, looking at how this club plays defensively and the goals and shots that they have been giving up, it seems like you would probably need a elite level shot stopper to really make a difference within this club. I mean, I think so many of these opportunities, the looks that they are conceding, I mean, I respectfully, I don't know whether it's Rocco in between the sticks or freaking, Vicario, like anyone, right?
Yeah, let's mention Vicario.
but in all seriousness, right? Like, I mean, it's very tough with some of the shots and chances they're conceding. It really comes down to, is it the keeper? Is it the defense? Is it a bit of both? Sure, change it for a spark, but I just don't know what it's going to do. We will have to see. We do have to also hop in with a super chat from Cycle Blue, a $5 super chat. I think you might be... Oh, Basketball Cthulhu watches footy too. Apparently when it comes to pro sports and AZ, the last 365... Not going to read the rest of that, but yes.
I don't think that's anything bad.
No.
Isn't XY chromosome like how you...
I just don't know what that is.
It's like a male or a female, right?
I'm not a big anatomy doctor guy. Well, thank you, Cycle Blue, for the super chat.
Max Simpson doesn't do science.
I'm not.
Max saw the word chromosome and
I got scared.
Ran.
I got scared. The human body's a scary place. Yeah, thank you, Cycle Blue, for the super chat. We love basketball with Cthulhu.
I'm gonna add a few of extra little bits to this one.
You always do?
think. As we always do.
No, you always do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you do.
fine. Is Tristan Henry good enough to play for this team? On the showings you've seen this season,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
you don't think so,
No.
right? Here's where I'm going to say it because the comments keep coming up about playing the kid, right? And looking at the kids, the academy kids. To
I mean,
play in
that's
this
that's
position.
that's just abandoned all
Rightly
hope
or
at this
wrongly,
point.
yeah. But here's what I'm going to say: rightly or wrongly,
No offense to the kids.
you do also have to understand that this team so far this year has already depth and ability to the impact it has on your team be damned exiled people.
Yeah.
It's done it twice. When we talk about defensive depth, we also have to remember that Harvey Neville was here, Alex Arenada was here. You might not think they're good enough. A lot of people don't think that Tristan Henry's good enough. They were exiled effectively.
Yeah.
They were tossed aside because they weren't good enough. Now, I can't speak to his attitude on the training ground because I just can't. Okay? The guy may be the hardest working guy there is. And so I'm not going to question that. But the performances so far that we've seen from him just haven't indicated, I think, to anyone. I mean, you see the kind of vitriol he gets from some of the fans. I mean, Thomas in there. Henry gets into Rising's worst 11. The minute that Tristan Henry's named into a lineup, there's so much negativity immediately comes out because people just aren't convinced on what they've seen. And my question is, what inherently makes him better than some of those other guys who've just been tossed aside?
Yeah.
And again, when this team has made those decisions without regard to the depth impact, right? When we talk about makeshift centre backs, you had one, you've tossed him away. When we talk about lack of depth at fullback, you had one, you tossed him away. They may not have been good enough, but if we weren't good enough, why'd you bring him in the first place? I just I don't know.
Thank you, definitely.
To the Henry gets into Rising's worst 11 comment, that probably is true, but it's also because Rising has been spoiled by the goalkeepers that they've had.
They
over
have.
years.
I'd also say that, to be fair, some of the goalkeepers, while they may have also had, some better seasons since, weren't also necessarily the best when they were here. Eric Dick was not good when he was here.
Yeah.
But
He was alone, in fairness, and only played a handful of games.
Yeah, but he was, 25? It wasn't
Yeah.
like he was a kid at that point.
I mean that more and
25
more
at
if
least.
he was a MLS throwaway than
No, I know. When you look at Lalo Delgado, I don't think he looked very good when he was here.
But did he play 5 games?
He played a number, not in one season, I don't think.
Yeah.
no, but
Well, while you're looking that up, we can dive more into stats, but we're gonna talk about our friends. Don't go anywhere. See you on the other side of the break. We're trying to talk about big players that need to step up for Phoenix Rising. I think one of the biggest players, in the game of basketball, Shaquille O'Neal, and he's going to be at our friends at Gila
He's
River
big.
Resorts
Can
and
confirm.
Casinos. How many goals would Shaq put up if he played soccer?
Well, Brexit ball, just get it up to the big man up top.
Well, we got a big guy in the
Yeah.
squad in Noble Acalo, and that's,
Yeah, but they call him the
working
gentle
it is.
giant. So
I'm pretty
Do we
sure
put
he
him
would.
in net?
He would just be. He would just be
Is he
unstoppable.
agile enough for that? I guess
He
They're
would
like-
just be unstoppable on
Shaq,
corners.
yeah.
On
Young Shaq, young
corners,
Shaq, okay.
no one's
Yeah,
out muscling
exactly.
Shaq. Yeah, but anyway, the big diesel himself, he will be live on the Straight Game podcast, only at our friends at Gila River Resorts Casinos at Wild Horse Pass this Saturday, August 16th. Go get some tickets. It's a really cool show. They got Mike Bibby, Eddie House, Coach Ty Ellis. Again, they're chopping it up, talking about basketball. It is Shaq. It is that big dude. He is the guy. Tickets are at retail pricing when purchased online or by phone, but discounts are available at the box office only. Get yours now. Also, shout out to our friends over at Circle K. It's honestly just an absolute darn shame that our last show here could not be in my beloved Circle K. I think it was a cruel joke that
No, instead we're doing it at the site of Max's tattoo.
everyone.
The tattoo was here, Max.
Well, yeah, Circle K got me through that experience, which I tried very much to forget, but yes, I cannot. But you know what? I can't forget the beauty and the wonderful things that Circle K has to offer. They're just a wonderful place, right? They always have the saving 20 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Everything within their Inner Circle membership. It's the best. They are the best at what they do. They have a Circle K Fuel Day coming up here around the corner. Make sure to get in on what they have going on. Again, all you got to do, download the Circle K app, opt into the Inner Circle program, which is free with a phone number. And that's it. Terms and conditions do apply at participating locations for details. Yes, we're back on the PHNX Rising podcast. Is something so fun? Would you like me to check my?
No,
okay.
We haven't sent it to you.
Okay, lovely.
We'll tell you about it after.
That's cool for sure. We're back. PHNX.
Sometimes you just say these things in these ad reads that I just have to.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we're back on the PHNX Rising podcast. Yeah, man. We're
not going to say it on. Sorry.
Okay. That's crazy.
Right, we do need
we're fed up with the goalkeeping
one last
situation.
thing. One
Anything
last
else?
thing on the last
Anything
game.
else?
Obviously, there was some negative reaction online.
what
The
people say.
fans. I mean, Los Bandidos obviously posting the fans deserve better on Twitter after the final whistle. Let's have a listen because I did ask Pa-Modou Kah about the that kind of reaction from the fans, and also if the bad string of results lately means, in this context of where the Western Conference is, that there's more pressure going into Saturday. Let's have a listen. What would you say to the fans after?
Well, but it's like I say, we know what we're capable of, and that was not worthy. And then, that is part of football. The one thing that fans want, is for us to show up and show out, and do our best, and and they will support us. So that's not a problem that the fans are unhappy. That is part of life. That is part of football. That is what you sign up for. The biggest thing I will say is like after they talk about their frustration and show that they're not happy, rest, rally, and get back because we have a game together.
You look at this string of poor results in a row, especially with how tight the Western Conference is. There's that pressure coming into this Saturday's game.
No. It's football, Owain. It's football. You win one, you win two. Ain't nobody talk about where you are in the standing. You move up. When results are always not good, people always gonna talk. Nobody talk when the results are good. I know it, I understand it, but the important thing for me is calm heads always prevail.
That's football.
It is football.
Football.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I don't know. It's this, I think there's always it's always a tough spot that if you are the manager of Phoenix Rising, I feel you're always going to be in a tough spot, especially within the last 4 years. And that's not in any way to, say whether the criticism is deserved or not deserved. Just kind of knowing the history of this club, right? Knowing that you have come from so many different years of consistently winning, challenging within the West, haven't hosted a home playoff match in years. You somehow win the 2023 USL Championship final. And it's trying to work back to that. And especially with how young the squad is, we knew it's going to take time. And all of this to say, you're kind of seeing the effects of where the club is at now. It's tough. We always knew there was going to be growing pains. We knew there could be ups and downs. But when you're kind of in this seems a bit of just, not kind of that attacking gal. There's a bit of, the defense is a bit open. There's just some inconsistencies from match to match. It's really tough to point with this is going to be where we turn things around. And the beautiful thing about this sport is it very much can. We can snap our fingers and who knows, they win against Tampa Bay, which we'll talk about here in a bit, and they have the next 3 matches at home, and wow, where they're starting to put something together. It's very possible. I just don't see what that's going to look like, and sometimes there's signs. I don't know. I don't see the signs. They could come out of nowhere, but there's not a track record recently showcasing me that that's going to happen.
I mean, I agree with that, but I wrote about it. I talked about it a bit. Is the fixture schedule coming up is fairly as easy as it can be given USL. You mentioned the 3 home games. Tampa Bay is by points the worst team in the league. They've got a couple. Colorado Springs, who's been bad. El Paso up and down. Vegas, they've been bad. Yes, you can't write those in as 3 points, but if you're playing bad and then you're going up against a bad team, that's a good spot to build some confidence. But I don't know if they can at this time.
What I'm going to
issue.
say, and it kind of steers us towards this Tampa Bay discussion and kind of where we're going with previewing this game, is that Tampa Bay have been a little bit up and down lately, right? And that's not a bad thing for them. They were bad, yet they won 3 of their last 5 games in the league.
Yeah, they've got the new manager bump.
The new manager comes in, Dominic Casciato, right? A pretty well-regarded manager from his time in League One. He was twice the League One Coach of the Year. And he's ultimately, they're looking better than they were. They are looking better than they were. They've got wins against Indy, Hartford seem to be working things out lately. They won against Indy twice. Again, they're kind of like bubble teams in the East, but let's be real. Phoenix Rising are a bubble team in the West right now.
That hurts.
They're only 2 points ahead of the
Max.
playoff line at the moment. So let's be real with that as well. Rising has 1 win in its last 5 games in the league. So,
well, I mean, that gets us pretty nicely onward to their upcoming matchup with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay Rowdies, like you mentioned, getting a little bit of new manager bump. They are still bottom of the East. They're trying to climb. They're trying to do their thing. Right? This is not your typical Tampa Bay Rowdies season. It has not gone well. Right? They, again, bottom of the East.
Sorry, 1 win in 7.
1 win in 7.
If we stretch it to within the league.
For Rising.
1 win in 7.
Gotcha. Yeah, Tampa Bay, not the usual. We'll see how they do. And what players from Tampa Bay should Phoenix Rising kind of game plan around?
You got some ex-Rising boys over there.
Yeah, I was going to point out Lawrence Wyke, the former Rising guy, not playing so much in that same role as he did with Rising last year, where he was more of a right back. He's kind of back in that midfield role than 8. He looked really good against North Carolina in that spot. I'm interested to see how the rest of the team looks. They've obviously got Manuel Arteaga, who's struggled this year.
He's been wasteful, but the fact is that we've seen what can happen when he turns it on.
Mm-hmm.
He has it. He just has been wasteful this year, and so I'm intrigued. He's not getting as many minutes lately either.
Yeah, they've got. I don't know. I'm definitely going to butcher his name. I think it's Wubens Passius from on loan from Nashville. He's been really good. I think he's scored 7 goals all competitions. He's been really good up front for them. We'll have to see. I mean, Tampa Bay defensively this season, they've been pretty poor themselves. I mean, they've had the most errors leading the goals with 6, most errors leading the shots in the league with 14. It's not led to as many goals and as entirely like Rising has, where Rising's literally conceded. Is it the most, or is it the second most now in the league? But Tampa Bay is a few spots back. But I mean, it's 2 teams that aren't very good defensively. So we're gonna get a barn burner.
Oh gosh,
I know. We'll see.
I mean, that requires scoring goals and getting
shots on target, scoring goals.
Yeah.
Which again, Phoenix Rising on and off with that. And I mean, we're gonna be clear. Other than Passius, right? One of a player who's got more than 1 goal on Tampa Bay's team. They got a lot of players who have 1 goal.
Oof.
It's Arteaga, isn't it?
It's Arteaga on 3.
Dang.
I don't know. I'm not really sure what to say. I mean, Ollie Bassett can be a chance creator in the midfield, right? A guy who's come down from the Canadian Premier League, who's with Ottawa up there. Not having necessarily his worst season, I'd say, and adjusting to a new league, but obviously the team as a whole struggling. So kind of dealing with that. At the same time, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, won't we? It's
We sure will. Well, shall we take a look at the Phoenix Rising side?
I mean, other than just learn to defend runners at the far
And
post.
please get an actual shot on target this game.
I think we can take a look at the Phoenix Rising side. On the other side of this final break. Oh, threw Damon off on that one. Nice.
Please let this be a better transition.
This is your last ad break in this studio, Max, so keep that in mind.
It's got to be it. It's got to be generational.
Okay, you got it. Okay.
Best for last.
So the best for last. And you know what? Tip my cap to our friends over at Branded Bills. The last transition in this studio. They're amazing. Brandon Bills, they're awesome. I'm
They
rocking.
are.
I'm rocking their nice ASU hat. They also have that other school, little U of A action.
Fourth
if you
tier
will.
right here, lowest tier.
Damon,
That's an in-joke that Damon gets on.
to confirm.
Is it fourth or is it lower than that?
To confirm, we're talking about Brandon Bills' top tier, is S tier, but
Yeah,
you're talking about the
100%.
school itself.
Brandon Bills U of A hats are top tier.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. I do respect.
If you just remove the logo.
Game
on
respect
the
game.
top,
Brandon Bills,
yeah.
they got everything. ASU, U of A, they got Phoenix Suns. They're supporting colleges all throughout the country. Regardless of where you went to school, they probably have a hat for you. Go to brandonbills.com. Use promo code BBPHNX for 15% off that order. They got the sweetest merch. Again, a lot of people in the chat, I know y'all are hat people. Check out Brandon Bills. They're local here to Arizona. They have great stuff. No more comfortable hat in the game than Brandon Bills. Also, if you guys, big fan of the other football, I should say, we have our PHNX Cardinals residency over with our friends, Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Check them out. We got Johnny, Bo, the entire PHNX Cardinals crew going to do a three-peat, a triple header, if you will. PHNX Cardinals live podcast starts at 4:30, followed by a little NFL season preview within our PHNX live, and then our all PHNX staff fantasy football draft, where I will defend my title by picking yet another championship winning squad, defeating the likes of Damon and
Spizzy.
others, and just going on
I
to
think he's
victory
gonna be
as
spizzy.
we do.
I think he's.
You
gonna
can't
be
say that.
spizzy.
I've won the trophy. I've
No,
literally
but
won the
Spurs
trophy.
won a trophy last year, and
Max,
then it went
no
back
one
to
likes a
usual.
champion that boasts like that.
Yeah.
you know?
Johnny is
Just
the Spurs
win
of our
humbly.
fantasy
Johnny, to be
league.
fair, Johnny really is the
You know what
Spurs.
I'm hearing?
here.
You know
Wait,
what
no,
I'm hearing?
wait, no, that's
you know
not
what
a
I'm
term.
hearing? You
That's
know what
not a
I'm
term.
hearing? You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that this guy's going to do a Phoenix Rising. He won the league last year. So what he's going to
That's
do
tough.
this year is he's going to barely scrape into the playoffs in those first round.
Max is the new Diego Gomez.
Oh, that's so
Maxi,
Oh, don't be mean to
so
Diego.
tough.
Did we talk
Oh,
about?
no, I'm being mean to
He
Max.
doesn't have a job right now, I don't believe.
dang.
Did we talk about our friends at Circle K?
Yes,
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
You were just off on
Professional podcast
that.
producer.
Yeah, you're a guy. You're a guy who does things.
Right, one other thing to say. New signing. Obviously, we know that Kelvin Arase is going in.
How do we find that out?
No timeline, by the way, on when he's going to be available. He's signed. They're waiting on paperwork. We don't know. But one guy that is available and did make his debut, Daniel Flores.
Mm.
Should you ever listen to what Pa said about his
Sure.
debut for the club?
I think he did reasonable. I think defensively he was very strong. Follow this man, get up there. Even went to a duel with the keeper, which I love. So he have that passion. He's from here. This club means a lot to him. Talking to him, he's back because he's always dreamed about playing for Phoenix Rising, and this means a lot to him. And that is very important also to have people that have pride and show that this club means a lot to them.
But you needed depth there. You absolutely needed new players in those positions. So makes sense to me. Take it.
Yeah.
I mean, young player clearly has something to him. We'll have to see how he adapts to the league overall.
Instant
but,
impact is what I'm hearing.
You'd
You're,
hope,
you're guaranteeing.
but I'm not guaranteeing anything.
Well, you already played a match.
my
Max.
biggest worry, and this is my genuine biggest worry, by the way, with,
isn't right in one match.
my biggest worry genuinely, and when we look at this team and look at where Phoenix Rising is right now, is that they need players who are going to make an instant impact right now. And when you sign players in August, that's not always what happens. Look at Cian Emmers, right? He hasn't been bad, but I wouldn't say that he stood out as a very good player that's really bringing a lot to this team so far.
It's always tough if you're
right?
waiting till
And
mid-season.
it's tough when you come in mid-season. It can be tough to adjust to the heat, to adjust to your new teammates, right in the middle of everything going on like this. And that can take time. And he may well figure it out soon and look good. However, when you're coming in August, he's got a couple of months head start on you already. Right? And he's still where he's currently at, I think, of this team, which is that it's not like you look at him and go, oh my God, this guy's a waste of space. I wouldn't say that about him at all. But you look at him sometimes and just think, okay, has he done enough so far that you think, oh yeah, that was a really, really worthwhile signing. He's really raised the level here. As of yet, no.
I'd agree with that.
That's fair.
And that's the worry. Again, you're bringing new players in
It's a lot.
August.
It's a lot to ask.
Right?
Rightly
You're
or
asking,
wrongly,
are they going
it's
to
a
make
lot
an
to
impact by
ask.
the end of the season?
Yeah.
I don't know. Darius Johnson, perfect example. He looks all right this season. I can see him having a role in this squad this season. Last year, I didn't think he was that good. It takes guys time. It takes guys time to adjust. Joe Margarita was good from early doors, but not all players are like that, especially if they come in, they haven't necessarily had their preseason or they've been playing constantly. There's a lot of things that go into this. It's not easy just thinking we'll retool in August for deficiencies that we had from the start of the season. And that's kind of what this team is trying to do right now. They're trying to fill in for obvious deficiencies that were there at the start of the season. They didn't have the depth in defense. The field wasn't good enough.
That's fair.
And the attack is kind of hit and miss.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we talk about Isan Sako. Right? Rémi Cabral's coming back now. We talk about Isan Sako. We were looking at, again, some stats from American Soccer Analysis. Rees, how good is his shooting in terms of his contribution to the expected goals plus metric?
I think it was the sixth worst in the league.
Right.
Now,
That
granted,
was
it
his
is kind of a fluky, not fluky, funky is probably the better word, metric.
I'd also say, I think, if I'm not, is it per 90 or is it?
I believe it is.
Okay, so it is kind of based on that. Okay.
Yes, it is, yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's not good, though.
No.
I mean, Rémi, we all talk about sometimes, does have a tendency to miss some big chances. Again, good enough player to have a role in this squad.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there are still some missing pieces there. There are things to put together here. I mean, Phoenix Rising takes a different approach. We all know that. We've all known that for a couple of years now. They are taking a different approach to bringing players in. The key factors are two things, really. Number one, are they bringing in players that are realistically, outperforming, I think, where the team is at payroll-wise? I don't believe that to be the case. Are they bringing in players who are commanding big transfer fees? Well, Joel Margarita went off on a transfer fee, fine.
Yeah.
But there's not a consistent basis for any of this, predominantly because a lot of these guys aren't necessarily the young up-and-coming prospects. And when they brought young guys in, Giulio Dortiotto as an example, who I was led to believe was
You remember
one
him,
of the
Max?
sporting director's favourite players
we
in
all?
Europe as a youngster, leaves on a free. I don't know if has he gone anywhere?
I don't believe
I
so.
think
Not
he's
that
still
I've
at club
seen.
at the moment. We got to be real. It's the current system is as fun and different as the Phoenix Rising model is.
Yeah, he's still without a club.
You're somehow not overperforming your payroll, really, and you're not selling on young players to Europe like Orange County do. So, kind of, what's the model here?
Where does it lead
We do
you,
it differently because we can.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, because it's not paying off, from what I see, is it?
Literally.
Do you see it paying off?
No.
At the moment, I haven't seen it. It's been a couple of years now. It's not paying off.
It's sporadic, and I think that's not
Really
necessarily
sporadic,
that's
and
not
it doesn't.
indicative
It's
of a model.
disjointed.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
feels for every Joel Margarita you sign, you're ending up with a Harvey Neville.
And and by no means not all of them are going to be
like,
hits, but
it's not working.
not all of them are going to be hits. But I mean, you want to judge more off more off the successes, and they're just, yeah, it's kind of tough. Score predictions before we get out of here.
1-1.
I think that was what,
Tampa Bay will take the lead.
yeah.
Rising will score in the last 5 minutes. This is football. Good fight back.
This is football. Reese.
I'm gonna go a wild one because sometimes you gotta have some entertainment in these
You on
score
what? What are you going
predictions. I'm gonna go 3-3.
Oh,
Rising
gosh.
Lava 3-3 draw. They've had two this
They
season.
really do.
May as well.
Gosh, 2-2 really does sound pretty good for Thomas. I mean, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. I'm fine with that.
All right,
All right, Jamin, you got one?
Damon.
4-0 Rising.
Oh my!
Love the
my
optimism.
Feeling
gosh.
good, man. Feeling
Who's-
good about this
who
defense. Feeling good about this wall we got back there. I think we see a couple corner kick goals.
Oh, stop.
Like the defenders who really put on in the game.
You know that
kinda-
big Noble Acallo's going to get his the
gentle giant.
100%. 100%.
Maybe an Olympico while we're at it.
No, come
Okay.
on,
Still
Max.
makes me
That's
laugh,
it's
by the
insane.
way.
Okay, sorry,
I mean,
you're right.
ignoring the El Paso one at the start of the season, when we finally saw Noble Acalo get another set piece goal, he ducked down to like a normal person's height to get it.
Hey man, gotta do what you gotta do.
The gentle giant.
The gentle
I just
giant.
can't
Yeah.
get over that nickname for a guy who's 6'5", but
I mean,
what can you do?
what can you
know?
do? Kind of round things out.
Danny
Trejo,
Trejo
Oakland.
to Oakland Roots.
Might as well.
What a signing!
What a
for them. It's an
signing.
interesting one. Comes from Birmingham Legion. He's not been great this year, but I still think, look, he's got obvious finishing ability there in a way that Oakland were missing out on. They have some talent in that squad, right? We actually were saying from the start of the year when they sent their forward off that, you know, it was weird because we felt as though Oakland were kind of building something there that was a bit interesting.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll see. We'll see. To me, if you're Phoenix Rising, it's a concern. I'll have to say, based on purely, you know, I kind of asked Power about the move to, you know, of him going over to Oakland today, and Pa was like, I don't really know enough about the guy, so I'm going to take that as meaning, knowing that from Rising fans were saying, why didn't we get him? He wasn't really on the radar here of any note, was never considered a serious target for this club. And I don't believe they're looking for someone in his position at the moment anyway. But I think he changes Oakland a bit. And if you ask me, is he going to be good enough to close the 2-point gap that currently exists between Oakland Roots and Phoenix Rising?
It's 4 now.
He might be. Is it 4?
Yeah.
Oh, they're on 20, are they?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It's very
4 point. I'm still thinking of the playoff gap there. Yeah, 4-point gap.
I think he very much can.
I think he could probably give him a better shout at it.
I think that's
Maybe closer.
I think that's kind of where we land. I mean, I think he definitely improves that club. I mean, even if you're hypothetical,
I think Oakland win that game against Phoenix Rising if
yeah.
it was played out the way it was.
I mean,
when he was on the pitch.
I mean, I think it's also, you know, I think we also there's probably a bit, even if it's unconsciously, a bit of the romanticism and kind of remembering 2023 Danny Trejo with Phoenix Rising and applying him a bit within that context. I do think, right, he joins that Oakland squad. Does improve
Vegas.
it? Sure.
It's only Birmingham Legion that he has struggled to score at in this league. He barely played in Poland.
Sure.
Give him a run of games. I think he'll be fine. He scored in a bad Vegas team repeatedly in this league.
We get that. It's also years ago. Again, I'm not discounting what you're saying. All I'm saying is I don't think it's the same impact as it was 2 years ago. However, I think there's something there.
I have to disagree entirely, Max.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like we're that far removed from it. It's not like he's that old.
Year and a half.
You know, year and a half.
Year and a half.
Saying.
I know Panos has some great injuries, but you've reunited him with Panos.
Next match when he's up to speed, how many goals does he get?
He's playing on a bad team in Birmingham Legion.
Yeah, in a quite poor attacking one. I mean,
I'm not saying he doesn't improve that team. I'm just saying I don't know if it's a world-beating game changer. I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong.
Well, okay, if you're Oakland, my thing, like they're not great scoring goals. I mean, they've only scored one.
They were creating chances against Rising.
Now you've got that guy.
They were just absolutely atrocious at putting them on target.
Yeah, Peter Wilson. I mean, he's statistically been one of the worst strikers in this league.
They're not good up top, so I think he'll improve them there.
I'm not disagreeing.
I just think he's an improvement.
Would you have liked Rising to get a sniff of him?
I don't know. That's a complicated one because, you know, Rising, you have guys there. You'd have to shuffle them out and shuffle guys around to be able to give them.
Do you move Isan Sako out wide, put Danny Trejo as your 9?
Or do you keep
Which
Sako?
Obviously then you're not really playing an aerial game necessarily with Danny Trejo.
Or do you keep Sako centrally and Trejo like off the left, like he kind of played towards the end of 23, you know?
Kind of
obviously.
off the number 9.
Yeah. Rising brought a winger in.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. Well,
they wouldn't have paid a transfer fee is the key thing here, whereas I believe Oakland will.
Yeah.
So that brings us to a close here tonight.
Does any
we're saying goodbye to the place where Max got his tattoo.
We are saying goodbye. Last thing to end on. How about that? Anyone bring their dads into interviews and talking about former international team legends?
Yeah, that was something.
That was crazy.
I don't even want to think about that. I do want to think about Tottenham losing the Super Cup.
All right, let's get out of here. This has been another edition of the PHNX Rising podcast. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter at PHNX__rising, double the new studios. You can follow me on Twitter at Max.
Getting 2 new studios, Max? 2 new studios?
I mean, we are getting 2 new studios. I mean, technically we're looking at 3. Dare I even say maybe a potential 4th, but yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Max.
Wow. Max is making moves here.
Good for you, Max.
Follow me on Twitter.
Max is getting in more studios than shots on target for Phoenix Rising.
Well,
that's a low bar, but
that's kind of what it is already now, isn't it? 2's more than 1.
That's a good shout.
Good math there.
Yeah.
That ASU education. We love it. You can follow me on Twitter, Max David Sims. You can follow
Max, you also went to ASU.
Again, you point proven. Point proven. So did Damon. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm actually Sims. You can follow on Twitter, OJ18. You can follow Rees on Twitter, Rees11 _. And you can follow Damon on Twitter at Damon DAWG. Woo.
It's a beautiful game.
Wait. We'll be back.
We'll be back next week.
Wednesday, 6 p.m. Looking a little bit different.
It's not Spurs related.
Oh.
It's not Spurs related.
Be kind.
Okay, I can do it. All right.
Yeah.
We'll be back at 6, of course, but next week. But I mean, it's a beautiful game, but it's way more beautiful when you actually challenge the opposition goalkeeper. Good night.
We all silly like the mayor.